Hello everybody. Hope you've had a good week. So I've decided today to talk about yet another, there are so many I can't keep track of them, yet another correlation and agreement between the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita. And the theme today is about basically do not trust the flesh. There's other things to trust, don't trust the flesh. So if we look at the Bible first, Philippians 3, chapter 3, verse 3, there is mention there of not having confidence in the flesh. I'm just taking a small extract out of it. And have no confidence in the flesh. And then in 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 22, we are told, quote, flee also youthful lusts, but follow righteousness. So to flee from youthful lusts and rather follow righteousness. Then in 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 11, we get this instruction. Dearly beloved, I beseech you, as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts which war against the soul. And then we switch over to the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 39. We are told, thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 43. God speaks to his warrior friend who's called Arjuna, and he says, O mighty armed Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. And in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 verse 40, the senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust, which veils the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. So there we have lust as an enemy, focusing one's attention and one's life and one's goals on fulfilling pleasures of the flesh, and fulfilling lusty desires. And lusty desires doesn't only mean in terms of romantic connection. Lusty desires also means lusting after any material things. One can lust for fame, one can lust for wealth, one can lust for control and power. There's so many material earthly things that one can lust for, which covers up one's natural spiritual intelligence, one's connection to God. So we are told in the Bible that the lusts war against the soul. They are our enemy. So in the Bible, it's lusts war against the soul. And in the Bhagavad Gita, we are told that the lusts are the eternal enemy of God consciousness. So both are agreeing. Lustful attention on lustful matters is the enemy of developing our consciousness, remembering where we came from, remembering who we connect with, remembering who is our ultimate friend. And sorry, someone's just coming in here. So in fact, the lustful behaviors are in fact the enemy of our spiritual journey, and making us forget who we are, where we come from, what our duty is. So I think the message that both of them are firmly providing there is we need to rather fill our consciousness with other thoughts, other goals, higher knowledge, develop our soul, develop our spiritual intelligence. The Bhagavad Gita says the only way to conquer the lusting after material things is by spiritual strength and spiritual intelligence. So otherwise our real knowledge are veiled. Our real knowledge of our ultimate relationship with God becomes veiled and obscured and muddied with our interests in lustful behaviors. So, yep, once again we have a lovely message that both of these scriptures are 100% agreeing with. So, thank you for listening. Thank you. Hare Krishna.